Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Kiddushin page 40, which discusses a very fascinating piece of advice. The Talmud tells us that if a person feels that their desires are getting the best of them, what they should do is they should not sin here, but rather they should go to another location. They should travel someplace where no one will recognize them. They should change their clothes. They should wear black, dark clothes. And also they should cover themselves in garments of black, like sheets of black, maybe a black overcoat. And then it says, V'yaseh kamo shalibu chafetz. Do whatever your heart desires. Sin is to your content. However, at least you did not disgrace God in public, because no one knows who you are, so you ended up sinning, but no one realizes that you're this great religious, righteous individual. So on this, the Talmud says it's hard to understand, because a person who sins, this is, even if they do it in private, this is totally unacceptable, because an individual must understand that, okay, fine, if I sin privately, no one sees me, but God sees me. So by sinning in private, you're almost giving a demonstration, you're almost stating that you're more concerned about people than of God, that you don't really care about what God thinks about you. So in this, the Talmud says a fascinating answer. It says it depends. If you can still control your desires, then control them. And if you don't and you decide to sin in private, even though you can control yourself, that's wrong. However, if you just absolutely cannot control yourself, then it's okay. So in this, Tosfos wonders, what does it mean it's okay? Why are we giving advice for a person exactly what they should do, a step-by-step instructions of how they should sin? So in this, Tosfos says a beautiful answer. It says the reality is we don't want this person to sin. However, if we start allowing them right out of the gate, if they have the desire to commit a particular sin, let's say, for example, the person wants to eat a bacon double cheeseburger. They just have a desire to eat that, which of course is not kosher. Now, they could do so right now, but we say, you know what? We don't want you to do this. We want you to jump on a train and go to a city where no one knows you, and then change your clothes, put on a New York Mets cap and some shades, and then you eat your burger, and then you'll enjoy it there. But just travel a couple of hours away, then no problem. So this is actually a very interesting philosophy and psychological concept, because if we would say, no, you're never allowed to do it, so a person may not be able to withstand themselves because they have such a desire. But if we tell them, yeah, it's okay, you're allowed, but just don't do it right now, go somewhere else and do it, so by the time they get there, they may not end up having that same desire to want to eat that bacon double cheeseburger. And therefore, because of that, the reality is we're not telling a person to sin. We're teaching a person a strategy of how to present themselves when confronted with great levels of temptation. And that is, don't deprive yourself and just say no, because that's a very hard thing to hear. Instead, say, yes, you can do it, but you can do it later. And this is an interesting concept that you can carry for many things in your life. So, for example, a person has a desire to eat candy, desire to eat dessert, and they know they shouldn't because they're unhealthy, maybe they're a little bit overweight, and they want to be able to be more careful. But it's so hard for them not to eat that cake. So what you should say to yourself is not, I am not allowed to eat this cake, because you end up doing it. Instead, you say, you know what, right now I'm not hungry. Give myself 30 minutes, and in 30 minutes you'll have that piece of cake. So those 30 minutes can go by, and you say to yourself in your mind, okay, you know what, I know I can eventually have that cake. I know I can eventually have that cake. I just have to wait 30 more minutes. And then when those 30 minutes roll around, you may not want it anymore, or you may have come to your senses. You may realize, you know what, I'm not really that hungry. I'm not really interested. So we have to use strategies the Torah is teaching us to be able to learn how to be able to deal with negative feelings so that they don't overtake us. And sometimes the best way is by pushing it off in a tricking manner so that when we get to that stage later on, we won't be interested anymore.